Hey everyone, welcome to the second episode of our Data Cloud video series. My name is Aditya and I'm a developer advocate here at Salesforce. In the previous episode, we have shown you a high-level overview of how Data Cloud works. And in this episode, we are going to look at the first step in this process, which is connecting your data sources and bringing the data in. Bringing in the data from different data sources involves two phases. First is data ingestion, and second is data modeling, also known as harmonization. In the ingestion phase, data from a data source is brought in as is, meaning that the fields and their data types are imported without any transformation. To get this data from a data source, you must first establish a connection between the data source and data cloud. You do this with the help of a connector. Salesforce offers many out-of-the-box connectors so that you don't have to worry about integrating with the external system yourself. Once a connector is set up, you create what we call a data stream to get different data sets from the source system. The data that comes in through a data stream is written to a data lake object or a DLO. Each stream has its own corresponding data lake object. Once the data is written to the data lake object, it is refreshed at regular intervals. Different data streams have different refresh schedules. For example, the data coming in from a Salesforce org is incrementally updated every 1 hour and then is fully refreshed every other week. Once you've ingested the data, you move on to the data modeling phase. In this phase, the data inside a data lake object is mapped to different objects in the Customer 360 data model. The objects in this data model are called as data model objects. You will learn more about these objects and the data modeling phase in further episodes. Let's now look at the data ingestion phase in action. We'll first take a quick look at the Data Cloud UI, and then we'll see how you can connect Data Cloud to a Salesforce org and then bring in its data via data streams. Once Data Cloud is provisioned in your org, you can access it by navigating to the Data Cloud app from the app launcher. Within the app, features of Data Cloud are organized into tabs. The Data Streams tab lets you create different data streams to get data from external systems. The Data Model tab lets you see different data model objects and create relationships between them. Once you've harmonized the data, you can use Identity Resolutions tab to create matching and reconciliation rules to unify your records. You can then use the Data Explorer tab or the Profile Explorer tab to view the data that you have ingested and unified so far. Once you have ingested, harmonized, and unified your data, you can use the Calculated Insights tab to create metrics on your data. You can write SQL queries to get metrics like, let's say, the lifetime loyalty of a customer, or products that receive the most number of clicks on your website, and so on. These metrics can then be used to either segment your audience or drive actions downstream. The Segments tab is where you can filter and group individuals into segments. And the Data Actions tab is where you can fire events based on either your ingested data or calculated insights. This event can be used to trigger automations downstream. For example, you can use Data Actions to fire a platform event that can then be used to trigger a flow or an Apex class. Finally, if you click on the Setup icon, you can see Data Cloud Setup, which is where you can configure Data Cloud features like connectors. This was just a glimpse into the UI. Let's now ingest data from a Salesforce org. We are working with a fictitious company called Solar Circles that manufactures and sells solar panels. They have an org in which Data Cloud is provisioned, and now they want to fetch data from another org which their manufacturing department uses. So the first step is to connect the org to Data Cloud. From Data Cloud Setup, click on Salesforce CRM. Here, it shows the different orgs that you have already connected to. To connect to a new org, click New. From Data Cloud, you can connect to two types of orgs. The home org, which is the current org where Data Cloud is provisioned, or external orgs, which are any orgs other than the home org, including sandboxes. I've already connected the home org, so the connect button doesn't show up. Let's click on connect to an external org. In our case, it's the manufacturing org for solar circles. Enter the credentials of the org, and once you click login, it will ask you to allow access. Once you do that, the connection is created and you can see the org in the list. You can optionally rename this connection so that you can easily identify it later. Now you need to set up a data stream for data to start flowing in from this org. From the Data Cloud app, click on Data Streams. Here you can see all the different data streams that are already configured. You can also see when they were last refreshed and how many records were processed. To create a new stream, click New. You will be shown a bunch of different connectors. Let's choose Salesforce CRM and click Next. Now choose the org that you want to get the data from. The list shows the orgs that you have already connected to. Let's choose Solar Circles Manufacturing. Now you can either choose a data bundle or select a single object. A data bundle creates multiple data streams and corresponding data mappings for a group of predefined objects. Salesforce offers a few standard bundles. You can create custom ones or download them from AppExchange. For now, let's choose single object. This table shows a list of all the objects available in the org. I want to import contacts, so I'll find and choose the contact object. In the next screen, you must choose a category for the object. There are 3 categories. Select Profile if this dataset contains the data about a person, business, or an account. Select Engagement if this dataset contains behavioral or engagement data. For example, if it is readings from a device or events from a website, it is engagement data. And engagement data is always time-stamped, so the data must have a date and time field. Choose Other if your data doesn't fall into either category. For example, it could be a list of products. There are certain features in Data Cloud that only work on certain categories of objects. For example, you can only create segments on profile data, and you can query for data with a time filter only on engagement data. You cannot change this category after saving the data stream, so review all these types and carefully make a decision. Since contact identifies a person, I will choose profile. Next, choose the fields that you want to import. By default, all the fields are checked. If you are OK, click Next. Give the data stream a name. You can choose to go with the pre-created name as well and click on Deploy. You will be taken to the detail page of the newly created data stream. Here, you can see the name of the data lake object that was created for this stream. Like I mentioned before, all the data coming in from the stream will be inserted into this object. When you deploy or modify a Salesforce CRM data stream, Data Cloud does a full refresh of the data. Then, Data Cloud conducts hourly upserts. A full refresh is conducted every other week, requiring no action from you. You can manually refresh your CRM data streams using the refresh button. Once the data is pulled in, you can see the refresh date along with the total number of records processed. You can go to the Refresh History tab to look at all the times when the data was refreshed and whether it was a full refresh or an upsert. You can take a look at the records that have been imported by going to the Data Explorer tab. Here, choose Data Lake Object as the object type, and then choose the DLO that you want to query. And the records present in this DLO will be shown on screen. So that's pretty much it. In further episodes, you will see how you can use the other connector types like Marketing Cloud, Ingestion API, and Web and Mobile SDK. So stay tuned. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to our Salesforce Developers YouTube channel so that you'll be notified whenever we roll out a new episode.